Liftoff and the clock has started.
It is showtime, everybody, and welcome to an all-new Downrated Sports. I'm your host, Brent Reid, and this is a show from a sports critic that's a fan to talk to the sports fan. Subscribe at the bottom today if you like the show, and leave a comment also if you enjoyed the show. Alright, if this is the first time you ever watched the show, we always start every show with the must-know news, and we kick it going with some good news for baseball for once. Alyssa Nakken has become the first female coach in baseball. She's joining the San Francisco Giants coaching staff. It is unclear exactly if she's going to be a position coach or she's just going to be on the staff giving her advice and stuff like that. So this is a step in the right direction for baseball, as baseball makes always good strides as far as opening up for everyone. The problem is they also had some other problems that we're touching on in the topic. Moving on, the WNBA. More good news? What? The WNBA has reached, the players have reached a new collective bargaining agreement, giving the ladies more money. So now their top players go from earning $300,000 to now $500,000. They also have new partnerships, so new sponsorships. It's funny, somebody said that only 2 years ago on a special show I did. And then also now the players, if you get paid paternity leave. This is awesome. So many WNBA players, so many great WNBA players, when the season's over, has to leave and go play overseas. Last year they didn't have Diana Taurasi, nor did they have Maya Moore, and these are two of the biggest names in the sport. Hopefully this brings them back. Hopefully this now will be a step in the right direction. There's also going to be like a little commissioners tournament thing going on in the season. It looks like the stuff that they want to do in the NBA, they're going to use the WNBA to experiment with, which is perfectly fine. And then finally, in some sad news or good news, depending on how you look at it, and now former Carolina Panthers middle linebacker Luke Kuechly is retiring and walking away. He, at 28 years old, suffered a lot of quite a bit concussions, and even had to wear a special thing around his neck to just help keep his head stable so he wouldn't keep having them. Kuechly wants to walk away on his own accord and not have to worry about any problems down the road. CTE is still very serious, despite nobody talks about it, and more key elite players are walking away from the game at an earlier age. They make their money and they're done. So that's how it is. So congratulations to Luke Kuechly on the new part of your life. Hopefully he's got a plan B set up. Maybe he'll be doing Monday Night Football with Tony Romo and me. Anyway, when we come back, the topic, and today's topic is going to be on baseball and its constant cheating and more. Downrated Sports. Alright, everybody, welcome to the topic. And baseball has had a rough 2 weeks. The spring training gets closer. All the time, baseball keeps running into problems. Since the dawn of time, baseball's got caught cheating again, this time on a different level, more of a Russian spy level, if you will. It's kind of weird because everybody's torn. Should we care? Because if you look over the 100+ years baseball's been around, cheating has been around. Starting with the 1919 White Sox, where the team was favored to win the World Series, and 8 of their players took a dive for money. So go figure. Whether it was players using greenies in the 60s to the 80s, which was the PEDs of its day, whether it was Pete Rose betting on his own team, whether it was the steroids PED era of the 90s to the 2000s, and now we have sign stealing. You don't need Limo to Emu to investigate this one. you can basically see it that according to what everything points to, and let's backtrack, I apologize. This all started with the Houston Astros in 2017, the year they won the World Series, or 2017, the year they won the World Series. Apparently they were using the instant replay. They will watch the catcher giving the sign, and they will use a drum. They will use a drum to give away what the pitch is coming up. All right. Just because you know the pitch doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful, but apparently they proved so. It was so detrimental that 3 teams this past week suffered from it, starting with Houston. The Major League Baseball decided to suspend Houston's manager and general manager for a year, and Houston took it a step further and just fired them. Boston Red Sox manager Alex Cora, who was an assistant on the Houston team that won the World Series, well, he helped the Red Sox win the World Series, and some said he was cheating on that team. He lost his job. Oh, and then there's Carlos Beltran, who just got his first managing job and hasn't even stepped foot on the field as a manager yet. Hasn't even filled out a scorecard yet. And he was a player on said Houston team, and guess what? He's lost his job. Baseball has to do a better job in their PR. Baseball has to do a better job in getting themselves out of the limelight of having a history of cheating. Baseball, every time it earns people's trust and earns people's love, ends up losing it every single time. In 1919, baseball obviously was the sport of America, and then America lost the trust because players cheated. It wasn't until Babe Ruth came around and baseball basically put everything into Babe Ruth to take their mind off of that. Ruth leaves, years later, the game is as big as possible, and then they had a couple strikes because it looked like the players got greedy. And then the game, they take a strike in 1994, everybody walks away, and it wasn't until Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa brought joy back to the game with a black eye because they did it on steroids. Baseball, football protects this game so much that even stuff like the Deflategate or when the Patriots cheat, they isolate it to one team, or they make it look like this is not a league thing, this is a team thing. In baseball, one team can do it and it busts out like an outbreak or the Ebola virus or something like that, and then it looks like the entire league is doing it, and it's just a bad look for baseball. Baseball has so much great talent, so many great players, so many great storylines this coming year, but yet do they put the emphasis on it? For example, we just talked about in the last segment, you have the first ever female coach in baseball currently right now. And she should be everywhere. ESPN should be leading coverage. She should be leading the A block, but she's not. She was an afterthought on SportsCenter this morning when they break down they do 30 seconds worth of news, and she was that small. That's huge. If the NFL hired a female coach and she was part of the main staff, that would be talked about on every broadcast from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Baseball needs to start controlling their narrative. This cheating thing doesn't matter to me because there's been cheating in baseball forever. Bobby Thompson's famous home run off of the Dodgers, it was said there was somebody stealing the signs and delivering to him. I still find it hard that, if I got your sign, I can deliver it that quick for you to pick up on it. It's not that easy, trust me. But hey, cheating, look, if you're not cheating in baseball, you're definitely not trying. I can tell you that much. I can promise you that. Anyway, when we come back, we're gonna finish it up. We got a new segment we're gonna do. We're gonna touch on some ground that we never touched on before: sports gambling. All right, welcome everybody to the first ever Downright Sports book. That's right, we're going there. We're talking gambling for the first time ever. so bear with me. 2 NFL games this week, the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game, and there's going to be lots of money to be spent on that. The Tennessee Titans are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Green Bay Packers are taking on the 49ers. Tennessee is traveling to KC, where they already have beaten them once this year. But with that being said, KC is -7. They're the favorites. So for those of you that don't know, basically what that means is KC currently right now is favored to win by 7 points or more. If you're putting money on Tennessee, then you think Tennessee is either going to lose by less than 7 or Tennessee's going to win the game. It's not confusing. I had what I wanted up and I think I lost it. No big deal. And then if you look at the Green Bay game, Green Bay versus San Francisco, currently right now San Francisco is favored, I want to say by the same damn point spread. It's 7.5. So you either think San Francisco is going to win by 8 or more, or Green Bay, if you like Green Bay, then you either think Green Bay will either lose by less. So if Green Bay loses by 7, you win. If Green Bay loses by 6, you win. But if they lose by 8 or more, you lose. Or if they win the game. We're not going to touch on the money line because that is very confusing for me and I'm still learning how that works. But hopefully by the Super Bowl, we all understand the money line so we can go forward and we can all make money together. But if you want to make money based on what I think, we're doing the downright sports team. So KC has an issue against the run. The Titans apparently have took the DNA of Earl Campbell and Barry Sanders and made a love child of Derrick Henry. And the Chiefs Kansas City almost lost to a Texas team last week before Patrick Mahomes goes, wait a minute, I'm Patrick Mahomes. And decided to just never let them score. Went on a spree. I think this is going to be a closer game. Tennessee's defense is better than this, but the Cinderella story has to come to an end. And finally, Andy Reid has to get back to another Super Bowl with the face of the NFL, in my opinion, and Patrick Mahomes. I think Kansas City is going to win, but I really feel like it's going to be a closer game. Give me Kansas City -3. I think it's going to come down. You know what? Give me Kansas City -6. I don't think 7's a lot. I think the Tennessee is going to be revved up, and I think there's going to be a close game. So give me KC -6. And then as far as Green Bay, San Francisco, no. My pick, you're not going to give me the San Francisco 49ers who haven't been to a Super Bowl in forever. This is a new crop of guys. This is not the Colin Kaepernick. In fact, the team that went to the Super Bowl against the Ravens, there ain't even any players on this team. The coaching staff is not even on this team. Green Bay, you got Aaron Rodgers. He's been there before. He's trying to get back there. He's trying to improve on his legacy. He's got to get to a second Super Bowl because Brent Reid never got to one. So to break the comparison, he's got to do so. So give me Green Bay. I say Green Bay is mine. Give me Green Bay -7. Yeah, give me Green Bay -3. So let me give some respect to San Francisco. I think Green Bay will win by a field goal. I think Aaron Rodgers gets them down the field. Green Bay wins by a field goal, and I got Green Bay winning the game. That's my picks. Yeah, let me write that down before I forget. So I say KC -6, and then I got Green Bay winning by a field goal. I like to remember the things I say so I can always turn around and go, try this out. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm losing my voice. Too much of this. Not enough of this. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with more show. Don't know what yet. Probably preview the Super Bowl. God, please, I want Kansas City and Green Bay to win. I'm going to have a special Super Bowl show lined up for you guys. I think you'll really enjoy. So, fingers crossed. If you hate looking at me, but you like listening to me, go to listen to the new Downright Sports radio show podcast. Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Just type the name and it pops right up. For some people, it's their #1 show. I know, right? Hit us up on Twitter. and then hit us up at Instagram. And yeah, it's been fun. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe out there. Respect your fellow man, and deuces.